Hey everyone, welcome back to Coastal Church Online. Today I have our lead pastor Sheree with us joining me today. And we thought, well, we didn't think, this was not our idea, but last time we chatted, we spoke about raising kids and things like that. So it was well received apparently. So we thought today we'd have a crack at doing parenting take 2.
Yes.
So...
Yes. See how we go.
Yes, we'll see how we go. Again, we don't know everything, but it's just our journey, our stories. So we thought about let's tackle the different season in parenting because we've raised
10 children between us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And different age groups. And so all mine are now adults and you've got adults.
I've got a few stragglers.
Yes, you've done that whole late thing. Yeah. But every season, and I can remember, I think I may have touched on this last time, I can remember when Jess was a baby, my firstborn, and looking at these toddlers running around going, oh my gosh, I cannot wait till she's running around.
Yeah.
And really did not like the newborn season with Jess and just wished it away. By round 2, I really thought I've got to embrace every season that they're up to.
Absolutely.
And not try and wish it away.
Yep.
And I have favourite seasons, but what do you think about that?
I was exactly the same. So when I had my first couple, you'd go through that. I can't wait till they can do this.
Yes.
And I can't wait to do that. And so I found myself thinking that through every season. I wish that they could, walk and be a little bit more independent, and then it would be like, oh, I can't wait till they can go to school. And so, and finding that I wasn't enjoying where we were at the current season. So having, that was, I guess, the beauty. I learned a little bit too late into the parenting world that the last 2 that I had, because I was a little bit older and wiser, I really enjoyed them for every season that they did, but I sort of missed it with my older kids.
Yeah.
And I regret that I did that. I regret that I wished that time away.
The season away.
And I didn't enjoy the journey. And I think that for both of us to have been in a similar situation that we've done that with our kids, where we've wished them through.
Yeah,
we can encourage mums out there and dads to embrace the time that you've got with them now, because I know it sounds really cliche and everybody goes, oh, before you know it, they'll be grown up and they'll be driving a car, and it's actually true. Before you know it, you blink and all of a sudden your children are in a different phase of life.
Yeah.
And we have to learn to enjoy them as newborns, toddlers,
every season.
Yeah, teenagers. It's really important to do that.
Yeah, taking on a season and just going, okay, this is where I am now. And when you get a house full of kids, you've got different seasons all at once, but you'll just go, okay, one's in primary, one's a toddler, one's a baby, and just embracing every season. And I tell that to now my adult kids that are parents now. I just don't wish this season away, and really value it, embrace it, learn from it, and be the best you that you can be in that season without wasting it and wishing it away. And
I think for a lot of us, especially for the mums that have had maybe children close in age or have toddlers, newborns, and even in your situation, you've got twins. So it's like we always think it's going to get easier in the next stage, but it's not necessarily the truth. And I think it's so important that we really cherish that time where they're at, because they're only a newborn for such a tiny amount of time, and they're only a toddler for such a tiny amount of time. And at the time when you've got maybe a toddler and a newborn and all that, you think, oh, this is just really, really hard. But within a couple of years, within a blink of an eye, you could think, oh, wow, that stage is already passed. That's already gone. Yeah. And that would be and I guess your word of advice
well, we come up with the same thing, that's what we did to start off with.
To love the time that you're in, love the journey that you're on now, and enjoy the day, every day.
Yeah. And I have to even say that even finishing well, so we had a little bit of a gap between our last child, and so I thought I've got all the girls through primary school, and now feel like I'm still straggling here when they've moved on to high school. And so poor Locke, I'd be always like, oh, I can't wait till this finishes. I can't wait till he's finished daycare, or I can't wait till he's finished primary school. And I feel like I've robbed him a little bit, that I was trying to hurry him
him to
along
grow
a
up.
little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel like that would be another bit of advice, that if I could just say, for your last one, and you're a bit sick of it, you're sick of going to the mothers' meetings, you're sick of going to the school meetings, you're sick of doing the parent-teacher interviews. I just got so sick of doing parent-teacher interviews. So by the time Locke was at high school, I hardly went to any.
Yeah.
Because I was sick of hearing the same thing. It's just like, your child's good, but, so I just got sick of hearing the same thing by the time number 4 gets. But yet for Locke, that was his first experience. And so
That's right.
I feel like I probably robbed Locke a little bit.
And I think that's a really good
hurried
key.
him along.
Yes.
It's like, hurry up, just get this over and done with.
And I think that's a good key that you've just brought up, especially when there's like multiple children in the family, is that you've been there and done it before, but they haven't.
No.
So they need to enjoy their childhood where they're at.
Yeah.
And as parents, we need to embrace that.
And going to the little concerts, even though they drive you nuts, the Mother's Day stalls and the Mother's Day concerts, and poor Locke, I just sat there going, I'm sick of hearing these concerts, and you're just over it. But I would have to say I really robbed Locke. So sorry, Locke, if you're watching this. Slow it down and just embrace it with every child.
Absolutely.
And speaking of having a house full of kids, you had a household, I had a household. I think and we agreed on this one point as well. One of the things that we really tried to do, and it didn't always succeed, is one-on-one time with them. Yeah. So I would make an effort that all the others would catch the bus, and I would just grab one, pick up one, and take them out for afternoon tea. Yeah. Little one-on-one times just to check in, how you're going in the field of all the kids at home. They can get the personalities that are quieter can get a little bit lost. So
that's true. And that is actually true.
One-on-one time.
Because you have so many diverse personalities in your home and with your kids, it's really, and I think we touched on this last time too, it's really important to establish their personality type and what their love language is and how you speak to them as an individual. And I did the same. I tried to do the same. I tried to do where I would take my children out on dates with just myself or with, Mark, and I took them out, and just to give them that special, and especially because you've got a house full of people vying for everything. And another thing that we did is we had the opportunity to travel a fair bit. So we always tried to make it possible for one or two of our children to join us whenever we did anything or went anywhere. And even when Mark was travelling New South Wales and Victoria, a lot in Queensland with his job a few years ago with pastoring, he used to take, kids and take them out of school for a couple of days and just have that time with them. And even, when we were running Inverell Church, he'd take the kids over there. Yeah. So it's just make life an adventure for them. Yeah. It's, it's one thing, it's very easy for us, I think, as parents to get really caught up in our life. Yeah. And forget that we can have a lot of fun with our kids and we can create great adventures for them. And even as something as simple as, like you said, picking them up from school, taking them to the beach, buying them a milkshake. It's just those little things are the things that they will remember. More than anything else. They will remember that. Yeah,
little times where you can speak into their life. I always used the car. So whoever I had in the car while they were trapped in the car with me, that was just my little platform where I could go, okay, how's this going? And how's that? Let's chat about this. And I always used the car whilst they couldn't go anywhere. And I wasn't eyeballing them either, so they didn't feel threatened. So I would bring up really tricky, even yucky things, and you've got to be willing to bring all that up. You've got to be willing to go there, address all the issues. Yeah. And I found, because I was driving, that I didn't have to eyeball them. So if they got embarrassed, I didn't see it.
You're looking straight ahead.
Yeah, I'm just looking straight ahead. So, be willing to tackle all the subjects, because they're going to hear it at school.
I think you get a lot done in the car.
You do.
Because even I take the opportunity now, and I've only really got one child now that I travel in the car a lot with, which is my youngest son, and I take him to school every morning. And so I've taught him to pray in the morning, and that's just a little thing that he and I do. Yeah. And so he's set the schedule. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I pray, and then Thursday, Friday, we call it Friday, he prays.
Yeah.
And so we would, and he's so cute because his sister's not well at the moment with tonsillitis, so he will pray
Yeah.
for her. And so even just having that little bit of time and using that 5-minute trip, which is literally all it is, to teach him a little bit about prayer and praying for our family.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit of special time that we have. So I just think it,
I think
he
it's
will
awesome.
he will remember that. That'll mean so much to him.
Yeah.
And establishing really great foundations in his life as well. You know, and the same, you know, I just pick them up if I take them anywhere. We chat in the car. I use it as the same as you.
Yeah.
To
Whilst
talk
they're
about.
in there.
Yep. It's a lot less, I think, intimidating and awkward than sitting around the table, which is lovely to do as a big family, but you're not going to get to the nitty-gritties. It's nice to do that.
And
so,
talk about embarrassing things and difficult things,
that
things
they're going
that
through.
your skin might crawl at, but it is real issues.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's
even with
important.
teenagers, when you're in that teenage season where and it's a really fine line because I've seen people that want to be the children's best friend and don't do it well, or are disinterested in what their child is. So it's finding that nice medium place that you can actually give them empathy for what we might think is, oh my gosh, high school drama. But for them, it's reality.
Yeah.
And to be able to keep that door of communication open so that your child actually feels like they can come and say, you know, look, such and such did this today. And I often, with my 14-year-old daughter, Summer, she will often come home from school and say, and tell me the things that have happened in the friend circle and all that. And I want her to be able to continue to do that. I'm so removed from it. I have no idea what goes on in high school life nowadays. But the fact that she can come, sit down with me and go, you know, Mum, this happened and this was uncomfortable and this. And I love that, you know. And to keep that door open.
It's her reality.
All the time. It's her reality. You know, it may not be interesting to me because it's not really. It's like, I don't know any of your friends and I don't know all these people. But for her, it's like someone that she can download to and I can give her a little bit of advice on how to deal with situations. So I think keeping that key communication through every season, you know, like I've taught my son to pray since he was probably 7 or 8 on the way.
I know Jess and Aaron. Jess does that with Bozzy. Jess and Aaron both do it. But when whoever's taking them into daycare, I know that they have
established really
a
good
prayer time with him. So he's taken over now. So he does the praying just before they're about to turn in. So he starts
such
praying.
a simple thing to do,
it's
but
gorgeous.
Isn't it?
I love it. And I just think one, that it's passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what you're saying, like Zeke will now do this with his kids, and
he will remember doing that growing up. You know, he won't remember what I bought him for Christmas. He will remember the times that we chatted in the car and we prayed together more than anything else. And I think it's things like that that are really valuable that we instill in our kids, and look for little opportunities like that. You know, don't make the car drive to the shops or to the beach, whatever, hurried, harassing where you're on the phone all the time. If your kids are in the car, you know, we often put music on and we'll sing, you know, do different things like that. So it is about making life fun for your kids, and life can be so serious as adults and serious in all the things that we do. And I think sometimes our kids carry a lot of that. And I know that I've always attempted to make life adventurous for my family. And what adventure can we do? And I am married to an extremely crazy risk taker who is very adventurous. So he's taken us on crazy times. But even for myself, I find like I want to make that a fun time for them. So I want my kids to get to adults and look back and go, I had the most amazing childhood. Learnt great things, but I also had parents that I could go to any time I wanted to.
Absolutely.
So,
keeping the door of communication open. We were the sporty family.
Yeah, we were not.
So we would do things as a family that were little challenges and games and things like that. So, and even now you notice on our fridge out in the shed who's doing the most chin-ups. Like it's
so
like we're all doing this chin-up challenge thing, but we do it as a family and it's fun, and we haven't done it for a while. We need to pick that up. I see your name on there, Nate. Nate's over there. So we all have a go, and it's just stupid
fun. So we're really bad. We're like the sleepy family. So none of us wanted to give up our Saturday mornings for sports. So we were like everybody was a sleep-in family. But we did other fun, amazing things that suited what we did, and travel was one opportunity that we had,
Yeah.
and that we would take our kids on any opportunity we got. And like I said, often when Mark travelled, he'd just take one of the kids out of school and
Yeah,
off
that's
they'd
so
go on
good.
an adventure. So
Yeah.
just little things like that
Yeah.
that they remember
Yeah,
and
I
they
think
just
it's
love.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I think being, as you touched on, being a safe place where they can actually come and it's not going to be, "Oh, really, you're struggling with that," or just
Yeah.
a really safe place where then you're not going to
Not
come,
dismissive of,
yeah, and come down really hard on them if they've mucked up. Just really listen to their heart and explain that
Yeah.
maybe not be the best option, especially as they get older. It's more explaining, isn't it? And then it's just being so black and white. Sometimes
Yes.
there's got to be grey areas,
I
don't
think
you
so.
think,
I think
as they get
sometimes
older?
we can't be. I mean, it's easy to be disciplinary and be harsh and all of that. And I think you're right. There has to be that balance where, if they've stuffed up or they've messed
Yeah.
up, that we show them a bit of grace.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be really easy, I guess, to show everybody else grace, and then you live with your kids all the time, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, you get
Yeah.
the crappy me or the
Yeah.
crabby me, and I just think it's really important that we have a nice balance in the way that we do life with our
Yeah.
children. Not be the ultimate best friend, not be the hard disciplinarian,
Yes,
but that nice
that
in-between
in-between.
relationship.
So good.
And it is a little bit of a balance. It can
It
be,
is. And
especially
it's-
when you have diverse personalities. It can be.
And we won't always get it right. And that's the main thing too, when because we muck up. Like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I don't know
the
how many
time.
times I mucked up, and you just think, oh, I mucked that up.
I know.
But
Yeah.
being, just learning from it
Yeah.
and just doing the best that we can, but yeah, keeping the lines of communication open. And I know even with my mum, I knew that she was a safe place where I could go.
Yeah.
My dad, not so much.
Yeah.
So, it's,
Yeah. And that's right. Like I think Mark and I have different dynamics with our kids. So there are different personalities that will automatically come and speak to me about where they're at.
Yeah.
And then some of our other
Yes.
children have daddy.
Yes.
So they
Yeah.
go to dad and dad will sort it, or dad
Yeah.
can give them the advice. And I think that works really well
Yeah,
too.
it does.
And,
Yeah.
and obviously if you're single parenting, that's going to be a sometimes a little bit of a
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
But very doable.
Yeah.
Very doable. If you
Yeah.
find that moment of being able to, be there for your child, to guide them and to train them and to discipline them where they need to be in areas of their life, but still show them the love and have an adventure with them and show them the fun part of life, not take yourself so seriously, not take life so seriously. And, I think kids nowadays grow up way faster than they should be.
Yes,
And
I
I think
agree.
as parents, we really contribute to that. And I think, because we get really snowed under with the challenges of life, and it's very
Yeah.
challenging, and raising
Yeah.
families challenging.
Yeah.
And I just think we need to have fun. Have
Yeah.
fun with your kids.
Have fun. And-
Make adventures.
Yeah,
You
have
know, we
fun.
live in a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
We live near the beach. Grab your kids and take them out
Yeah.
and on, spontaneous date, grab an ice cream down the beach. They will remember that more than anything.
Yeah.
So
And giving
yeah.
your best to your family, not
Absolutely.
always to your workplace or to, we give our best to our workplace, we give our best to
Yep.
serving in the church,
Yep.
but we need to keep in mind we've got to give our best to our family, to our husbands,
brilliant.
to,
Yeah,
kids.
brilliant.
Giving our best to our family is really high.
Very
on
good.
the thing.
Very
So-
good.
Well, there we go. We have done round 2.
Knocked it out.
We want to thank you so much for joining us online today. Stay safe, everyone. Until next time, we shall see you all later.